Not if you're responsible for hundreds of thousands of people.
I mean, to be fair, MPs aren't actually responsible for hundreds of thousands of people in terms of their constituencies. It's under 100,000 per constituency.
70,000. They're responsible for about 70,000 people.
And 70,000, so not in the 100,000, not hundreds of thousands of constituents. And I think actually when you're going into politics, I don't think it's actually about how much money you can get out of it. I think it's actually about public service and being there to support your constituents rather than thinking this is going to be a good way to make loads of money out of it.
You don't make loads of money as a member of parliament. You really don't. Okay.
If Mark is suggesting hundreds of thousands of pounds,
it's a bit rich coming from you and the Taxpayers Alliance because you don't even tell us who funds your organisation. It's a secret.
Well, I'd be quite happy to tell you it's hundreds of thousands of. Sorry.
Tell us.
Well, it's hundreds of thousands of individuals up and down the country. I mean, if you look at the average donation that the Taxpayers Alliance actually receives, it's £500. And so it's not a lot of money. It's not multi-millionaires. It's just small, hard-working people who want to get a fair deal out of the government in this country.
Why are you guys just knocking members of parliament? The majority of constituents. Of course you are. You've got this punitive idea of productivity payments.
Members of Parliament do an incredibly important job, but they are not directly responsible for people. Their job is to represent people. Responsibility and represent. Hang on a minute, shush. Responsibility and representation are two different things. They represent them just as a local councillor represents their local ward members. Now, if MPs were directly responsible for the delivery of services, health, education, highways, etc., all the things that we need, yes, that would warrant huge increases in pay because, frankly, they would be underpaid. But they are essentially paid to go to Parliament to raise issues of concern from people in their constituency. The most power an MP has got is the power to write a letter to a Minister of State or a Secretary of State to raise an issue, just as you and I and all of your viewers, Mark, have got the power to do. That is their sole power, really. They've got the power, of course, to remove and elect a government, but that seldom happens. They have no direct influence over policy and the implementation of policy at a local level. And so the notion that IPSA should be awarding them a pay increase because, for whatever reason, the cost of living, etc., has gone up. Well, if everybody else in the public and private sector gets an equal pay increase, then I'd be happy with it. But that is not going to happen.
So surprise, surprise, Brendan, as a councillor, you think that you have direct responsibility. I suppose you should get more money. Is that what you're after?
No, absolutely.
You want less money. You want less money. Do you want less money?
I do it for free, personally. I do it for free. I donate my allowance to Help for Heroes, a local branch of my local charity, because I think if you go into politics, you don't do it for money. You do it out of a sense of civic responsibility because you want to represent your local residents. Unfortunately, we've got to a situation in this country where we've got a political class who not only get their pay awards, many offices are privately funded through vested interests as well. There's a considerable expenses system. Now, the whole thing does need to be streamlined, in my opinion. I would rather us do away with expenses and give MPs a simple annual allowance. I think that would be far more transparent because at the moment, every member of the public looks at an MP and says, oh, you're all on the make. Well, a lot of them aren't. But the question is, at the moment, is it right that MPs should get a pay rise when we have got rising energy prices, inflation is on the increase, businesses are struggling, and people on low incomes are facing a cut? And the answer to that from any reasonable person is no.
It's not reasonable at all. And forgive me for saying it is absolutely ridiculous because inflation is going up. Prices are going up. There's going to be no more cheap money because interest rates are going up. Wages have gone up by 7.5%. Are you saying then that MPs shouldn't get a pay rise like everybody else? Of course.
What I'm asking is, should someone on the minimum wage, should their taxes go towards an increase for someone who's earning £75,000?
Yes,
and the answer to that is no.
The answer is yes, because they have a huge responsibility to tens of thousands of constituents.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.